everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Financial Insight Show. I'm your host, Mwelwa Chibesakunda, and I am in sunny Cape Town at the Africa Works outlet right here in the Mother City. And as always, we like to bring you candid conversations with professionals from across the world, literally now. And with me is none other than Sandras, who's a familiar face in the sort of tech space, but he'll tell you a little bit about himself right after this intro. Welcome back, and as I mentioned, I'm with Sandras. Sandras, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's so great to finally connect with you, and I know this is our first interview on the FIZ Show. But before we get into it, because we always have this tradition where guests tell us a little bit about themselves and the organizations they represent.
Brilliant. Name is Sandras Phiri, CEO and founder of Pranary. Pranary is a practical business school for entrepreneurship and innovation, and we have a massive entrepreneur community. So what we do is we make business education practical. So it's not academic, too theoretical. It's really people getting to do things.
Right. Now that's very interesting. Now, obviously, we've followed, your professional, career. What led you to Pranary, and what was the biggest motivator, and what sort of problems do you see the company sorting out?
So my background is computer science. I did computer science at the Coppernet University in Zambia. Then I did an MBA at one of the top universities in the world, which is the University of Cape Town Graduate School of Business. Then I did my MBA, but I didn't know what to do in my startup. I didn't know what to do in my small business because traditional MBAs are designed mainly for corporate and for consulting. And so there was that mismatch between what you learn in class and what really happens in business. And I was trying to solve that for myself first, like talking to other founders and investors. But then I found like it's a general problem, and it's a big problem globally of what you learn in class doesn't match what happens in real life.
Right.
And so I've interviewed now over 120 founders and investors from around the world, and they all say similar things. Like entrepreneurship is practical. Entrepreneurship is it's like swimming. You can't just read books about swimming. You need to jump into the swimming pool.
Correct.
So the way traditional business schools teach entrepreneurship is like trying to teach your child to ride a bicycle using text messages. And just say, balance, child. And like, how?
Exactly.
You need to get on the bike and ride.
Yeah.
And so we teach starting from how to launch businesses, how to fundraise, how to grow. And we teach like practical AI. We teach just real life things that you won't find in a traditional business school. That's what we do apparently.
What's very interesting, obviously, is that you come with a tech sort of background combined with an MBA. But how important is the tech side of Sandras in terms of now being able to actually build a business that is fully functional now?
It's interesting because I went from tech and then went all the way to business, and then I found like I am still kind of like back to tech and the business. So I bring the two together. But something I think which I do differently, what Pranary does differently, is to make tech accessible.
Right.
So when we're teaching AI, for instance, like we get anybody to understand what it is, regardless of education and regardless of industry. Because a lot of times when people are talking about AI, they feel that, send the IT people. It's like AI, machine learning, all of that. Like, not for me. Whereas for Pranary, we make it super practical. If we're teaching you personal finance, for instance, it's very practical. So everything we do, whether it's tech, business, we just make it super accessible. So I think my tech background makes me understand the tech, but I don't use tech jargon and to just make it like really easy to understand. And that's what we do even in all our programs. Like you would go through the AI training, you're like, wow, this is the best thing.
Exactly. Yes.
And we had, I remember doing a session in Durban for one of the seed companies, and they had senior execs from across the continent, and they were when prepping for that, they said, these are old people, they're tech averse, they don't like tech very much, so you might have you might have a hard time trying to teach them about AI.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, like everybody was using AI, and like this session was short because it was exciting and it was real.
Wow, wow. Now, obviously, because you have the MBA side that allows you to literally walk into any business. Is the solution you're providing, can it be applied to pretty much any business?
Absolutely. I think the MBA, what it did for me is exactly what you're saying. Like when I say I got an MBA, people listen differently.
Exactly, that's true.
Like, oh, okay.
Especially if you come from GSB, UCT, yeah?
Yes, but a lot of the things I learned like are not really applicable in the like startup space and the SME space.
I see.
It's like much later in large corporates that some of those things are really applicable. So you get then people trying to apply those MBA type things in small businesses, and then it doesn't work. So you get super frustrated. And so what we do then is just to make it like, what do you need to learn at the earlier stages of business? And we use people who have gone through those stages, and then using other founders and investors to teach like, this is what you need at this phase. So the analogy again is like, we are like a GPS to just help you, like in order to go from Cape Town to Lusaka, in 100 meters, just 10 left. We don't say, okay, this is the whole map, and then you need all of these information. You should know that you're gonna cross 2 borders, and then this, and all of that, and it's like overwhelming. So the old model of teaching, of teaching, especially teaching business, entrepreneurship, was that there is no knowledge, right? Like people are lacking knowledge, then they need to find the information. So go to the library, go to this person, all these people have got the knowledge. And so it's like you get given a map book. And I remember the first time we got to Joburg, we got lost for 2 hours with a map book.
Wow. I remember those days.
Yes,
I remember those days, yeah.
Where are we supposed to be and where are we supposed to go?
Exactly.
Let's turn to page 3. And so it's like that with the old model. It's like, here are all the textbooks on how to build a business. Like, it's too much info.
Correct.
Whereas the new model is that their information is already there. There isn't a lack of information. It's more of there's a lack of guidance. That's what's missing, the guidance. So we give you the guidance because there's too much info. It's like, where do I start? Like you can learn anything by going to YouTube, anywhere. You learn anything. But are you learning the right things? So you come to us to tell you like in 100 meters, 10 left. Don't worry about anything else, and we just guide you from where you are. So again, we make it personalized because not everybody needs to learn everything. Like it's like, again, if we're using the analogy of you are going to Lusaka, if somebody says, help me, I want to go to Lusaka, the first question we ask you, like, where are you?
Right.
Like, are you in Kafue or are you in Mauritius?
Exactly.
You have to do completely different things.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, Sandra, this is really, really all exciting. So I think we'll take a bit of a break now, and thanks to our sponsors, Africa Works. So stay tuned for more insights from this conversation. Welcome back, everyone. And as you all know, we're still speaking to Sandras about AI and everything Pranary. Now, Sandras, we understand that obviously your company's got aspirations beyond South Africa and entering into the region. I think sometime last year we had an opportunity of being invited for one of your sessions in Lusaka. Are you able to tell us about what the thinking is there, and is that an indication that you have a business that's scalable beyond borders?
Well, absolutely. Yeah, we had the opportunity of launching Pranary and it already being international. So we launched in 2020 and it was during COVID, and that worked out even better for us because we just launched online and we had the international footprint. So Pranary now has got members from over 60 countries around the world. So we started out Pan-African, but we got like paying students from Slovenia, Turkey, Sweden, USA, UK, Barbados, joining our programs. And then Pranary is actually registered in South Africa and in the US, as well as in Zambia.
Wow.
And so we've had people come to Pranary with ideas and leaving the programs with companies that are launched. For instance, there's a company called Koa Academy, KOA Academy. They came with an idea, a couple. They were planning to launch a business. I think it was about June, July. They were planning to launch in January.
Okay.
They were planning to launch a school. But at Pranary, because when you start, it's like a swim school where you actually jump into the pool.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's get customers, start talking to people and launch next week. But when you challenge people like that, then they think about what's really important to get things done. If you give it like too much time, you start thinking of all the unnecessary things. So a lot of times there is the fear. But then these amazing couple, Lauren and Mark, they launched, they got customers, they even got investment within the 3 months of the Launchpad program. And Core Academy now is a big company. They've even raised more money. They're doing millions of rands in revenue, which is good. So there's just an example of that. And then we have online programs around investor readiness. Then we also teach how to use AI, practical AI for businesses. Then we have a tour to Silicon Valley every year.
Okay.
Then we also have a summit in Cape Town once a year. So these are like our main things. And now we're looking at partnering with universities because we enable universities to do what they know should be done, but they struggle with, which is like making entrepreneurship and innovation education practical.
Right.
They know that it should be done like this, but they are constrained by the requirements of like regulation, the Senate, and all of these things saying in order to get this type of qualification, you should have spent so many hours, you should have read so many books.
Right.
But it's not necessary now.
Exactly. Understood. Now, I mean, obviously, because at the core of your business, AI is a very important facet of it. It's 2025 now. What would you say are some of the key emerging trends that not only Pranary is looking into, but that many industry experts should actually be having a look in and be concerned about going forward? Yeah.
So I think AI is very, very important in terms of the future of business, the future of learning. When we launched in 2019, we were called startupcircles.ai because we knew like AI is the future. And then we changed name to Pranary after that because to give it a more neutral name and also that's more relatable to different types of businesses and not sound too tech. And then, so generative AI will continue to be very, very important for businesses and for people. So both for just generating text, images, videos now, and sound like songs, and then the different large language models that are coming out, including the ones that have come out of China, like DeepSeek, doing very well.
Right.
And then, so those will continue to be important. And then another thing which is like more critical and which is still kind of like the next version of the LLMs is actually AI agents. So AI agents are like a little bit more like a worker. Like if you got one employee to do specific things. So agents can take a prompt, like you ask them to do something and they can reference other things and continue to build onto something and maintain the memory. So almost like the way we would give somebody to say, I want you to arrange a meeting for me with Mwelwa, and then you'd be like, okay, let me get the contact details, let me get this, let me do
more
this.
Like a virtual assistant of sorts, yeah.
Exactly,
Wow.
exactly. So the future is that we're going to have teams of both humans and AI agents. So you can have an AI agent doing specific things. Like it should be onboarding customers, an AI agent that answers customer questions, an AI agent that takes minutes for meetings and shares the minutes afterwards, and you have an AI agent like doing things. So very soon you have teams of AIs, like AIs working with other AIs, and then AIs working with people. So a team of humans and AIs. And then that is kind of going to lead to like one person just having a lot of AI agents doing a lot of things. And so some of the leaders in the AI space saying it's very soon that we're going to see a $1 billion one-person company.
Wow. Wow. No, I definitely look forward to that. Like that particular moment. But maybe just as a final question. I mean, obviously, in your line of work, the questions do come up in terms of like, okay, does AI replace? You're talking about agents, etc. Does that replace the human worker? Or maybe if I flipped it around, how should human beings going forward, like position themselves to take advantage and leverage of the benefits that you just described?
Yeah, a lot of people have said that AI won't replace you, but somebody using AI will.
Well,
right?
yeah.
But now, actually, certain jobs will be replaced by AI.
Right.
So, just like there were certain things that people did and then computers do, certain things that people do, then cars do, like all of those type of things. Like AI is a set of tools, but it's very different because it's enabling a lot of industries, like almost all industries are impacted it.
Right.
But also in an exponential sense that we almost can't predict what will happen next year, the next 2 years, because the growth is so fast.
Correct.
So as humans, I think the most important skill right now is just to learn quickly. Like, are you able to learn and adapt very quickly?
Right.
For instance, this is my space, but still, I can't keep up with all the developments.
That's
but
right.
what we do then is just to get all of this different info and just give you what's needed. Like, for what you're doing, these are the things you need to know now and get going. But I encourage everybody to use AI. Like, there are people fighting it. It's really like fighting the use of electricity, like, electricity, because I know somebody who got electrocuted once. Like, I feel people will. But generally, a lot of people benefit. So again, people worry that the use of AI could create issues, but also the use AI will solve some of the issues created by AI.
Right.
The same way you have software, then you have viruses, then you have antivirus to fight the software that's doing bad things. So it will continue to build and grow like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Sandras, thank you so much for spending some time with us and sharing key insights. And we look forward to engaging with you obviously in the coming months as key developments happen.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me, and it's good to see you here in Cape Town.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so there you have it. I've been speaking to Sandras Phiri, who's based here in Cape Town. Our interview was obviously at the Africa Works outlet in Cape Town. So if you're ever in need of office space or hot desk, do get in touch with the folks at Africa Works. This has been Mwelwa Chibesakunda in Cape Town. Get to know.